everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J, and today I'm doing my Pat McGrath Huetopian Dream Mothership palette video, and I just got mine in the mail yesterday, and so today I'm doing the video for you all. So of course I'm going to show you all how to do this eye look. We're going to do swatches, and at the end of the video I'm going to talk about my final thoughts on this palette. But first, you already know the details. I got my palette from Pat McGrath's website. I actually got a little duo situation where I was able to pick up this goodie in addition to the palette. She often has bundle prices on her website, so definitely look out for that if you're interested in buying more than one product from whatever launch she's having. This one is the Pat McGrath Labs Intensifies Artistry Wand. So I was really intrigued by this new product because I'm all about intensifying eyeshadow in the most simplistic way possible. I don't want to do a whole bunch of extra work if I don't have to, and you all know, like using mixing mediums and stuff like that, you gotta pour, you gotta dip, you gotta do the most. And with this, you can just swipe and it's supposed to intensify. So of course I'm gonna demo it for you all in the demo. But then of course we have the Mothership palette, the reason why we are all truly here, the Huetopian Dream eyeshadow palette, and this is the artwork for it. It reminds me of Care Bears, just something really fun, really light and jovial. So I really like the packaging here, and here's what the palette looks like. Even though I already know you all have seen this palette 1,000 times, but just in case you haven't, I want to show you all this palette. So here's what it looks like. We have, of course, the Dazzler shades on the end, and then we have the 6 additional shades in the Mothership palette as per usual. I'm only going to do one look in this video, but I'm definitely going to film more content using this eyeshadow palette, so keep your eyes peeled for that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I put down a little bit of my Pat McGrath concealer as a base, just a little bit, just so I'm canceling out some of my discoloration on my eyelids. I'm going to pick up Shockwave first with the blending brush, and this is going to be my transition shade. So I'm just going to take that back and forth in the crease and then blend it upwards. Super pigmented, very pretty. Next, I'm going to go in with the same brush and the shade Extreme Plum Noir. Let's move down just a little bit and pop that right in the crease. So the first color, I put it in the crease and then I blew it out to go above the crease. With this shade, I'm just going to keep it concentrated in the lower area on the crease. So I'm almost going to do the opposite thing where I'm going to blend this one down and go back and forth. And this is going to add a little bit of depth. Next, let's take a flat shader and pick up the shade Astral Amethyst Moon. I feel like you all already know this is the shade. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. This is the shade that I am most excited for out of this entire palette, just because it's a Dazzler purple shade. I'm in love. Oh, that's breathtaking, honestly. On the other side, because I have it, I want to see how this is going to take it to the next level. This one is the Intensifies Artistry Wand. You got to do some clicking to get that thing to come up initially. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and I want to swipe this right on my lid. So I'm going to put it in the same area where I have that purple on this side. And let's see what it does. Ooh, okay, yes, I can see the difference. It's way more intense, and I don't see any glitter particles falling down. So this is essentially a mixing medium that's going to intensify your eyeshadow, because I immediately saw it and I just did like a little swipe. Let's go on top of here and let's see if we can intensify like that. Definitely doing that just swiped up my eyeshadow. That's all right, because I'm gonna put it right back. Oh yes, ma'am. It looks a lot more wet. You can definitely tell the difference. And this product gives the eyeshadow something to grip onto, so it really eliminates your fallout. To me, it makes it to where you can see the shift a little bit more clearly too. Like you can obviously see it's blue to purple versus it just kind of looks purple with a little bit of blue to it. And now you can see that shift. Okay. Next, let's go into Blitz Sex Stream. I'm like, okay, Sex Stream. I'm gonna take a really small blending brush for this one. Ooh, I think I picked up a lot. And I just want that right on the outer corner just to kind of tie in that brownish shade. Ooh, that's really pretty. That has a really beautiful shift to it that you just don't expect. I love it. I'm just going to blend it up towards the crease, but I'm not going to take it in the crease. I just want it to meet there and then blend into it so it's not like a harsh line. With the pencil brush, I'm picking up Astro Venusian Orchid. I have to look up what a Venusian orchid is, because knowing Pat, it's probably a flower on the moon. Interesting. She actually had a shade called Venusian orchid, and it was a matte lighter pink. What is a Venusian orchid, auntie? I don't see where that's a real flower. I see a Venus orchid. I see a Venus slipper plant, butterfly orchids, Venetian blinds, but a Venusian orchid? I don't see where that is. I need some clarification. What kind of flower is this? Is this a custom plant that auntie has made? Let the girls know. Anyways, I'm going to take that. Ooh, wee, that's pretty. And I'm just gonna pop that on my inner corner. We're gonna take that on the lower inner corner. Actually, on my lower inner corner, I'm gonna go in with this pen just so I can intensify it and I can get it exactly where I want. So I'm minimizing the chance that my eye will get irritated. Yes, ma'am. I'm actually gonna take this all the way across just because it's gonna make my life so much simpler. Let's take Cosmic Bloom. We're just gonna pop that in the center. To finish off this eye look, I'm gonna go back in with Extreme Plum Noir and just gently apply this and bring it around and connect it to the top and just kind of blend it out a little bit. Boom. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, add liner and lashes, and I'll be right back. Let's go back into Shockwave where it all started. And I'm just gonna pop that on my cheeks and just tie the little look together. And there you have it. Here's my finished look using the Huetopian Dream eyeshadow palette. I think my look is so dreamy and beautiful, and that's just to be expected with Pat McGrath's eyeshadows. And Pat McGrath's signature is this really beautiful extraterrestrial type eyeshadow look that I feel is really beautifully executed from her brand time and time again. When she initially launched the Mothership palettes, I truly feel like she changed the game. And so it's not a question of, is this Mothership palette beautiful? Because I feel like we all know that the quality is going to be there and it's going to be pretty. The question that a lot of you all had is this palette any different than any of the other palettes that she came out with? Because some of these colors bear a resemblance to the other shades that she has previously released. So when I initially saw the preliminary promo for this palette, you know, we saw this first. So I was like, yes! We're gonna get a purple palette. I'm all the way here for it. You all know purple is my fave. I think collectively we were all expecting a really, really colorful eyeshadow palette. I was thinking maybe we can get an extension of her Nocturnal Nirvana quad that she came out with a few years ago, because that purple right there is to die for with the greens. And you can throw in gold and stuff like that. So I was really, really hyped because I'm like, yes, we're gonna get a purple palette. But then when I saw the inside of the palette, I'm like, okay, we didn't quite get the purple palette. I did get the purple eyeshadow, and of course we're gonna have the Dazzler shades. So I already knew, for me, it's always love at first sight with these shades, especially when she throws in a purple. And the 6 shades over here, I feel like that's where everybody kind of got thrown off. They're like, wait a minute, we've kind of seen this before. And I'm not going to disagree with that, because I do feel like Pat McGrath has given us a similar color story across her eyeshadow releases for the past few years, because she likes rose, she likes pink, she likes gold, and I feel like all of those elements are reflected in this palette. Now, are these shades dupes for other shades in her kingdom? No. Pat McGrath is not going to give us the exact same shade. She's going to vary it in some capacities. So either it's going to be darker, lighter, a little bit of a different undertone. It's going to pull a different color depending on where you place it next to the other eyeshadows in the palette. So I do feel like she gave us a slight variation, because she's given us this dusty rose shade. Of course, she's given us several browns. We have shades like this in almost every other Mothership. This shade right here is a little bit different. However, I do have some other shades in my collection that I feel like are somewhat similar. And then this peachy shade, I know that we got that in the Divine Rose 2 palette, but it's not the exact same peachy shade, and I will show you. Y'all, holding up Mothership palettes is a whole workout. You just don't know until you have to do it. Okay, so as you all can see, the Huetopian Dream Peachy shade is much more vibrant, and it's a little bit more pink and less of this muted peach like what's in the Divine Rose 2 palette. So these 2 shades are not all that similar, but they're in the same color story family. Pat McGrath could have very easily called this Divine Rose 3, and it would have fit right into that category. And I'm going to be completely honest with you all. Out of the Divine Rose 1 and the Divine Rose 2 palette, this palette ranks the highest for me just because it leans more purple and the colors are a little bit more vibrant. So I actually prefer this one over Divine Rose 1 and Divine Rose 2. The only thing that beats out any of the eyeshadows in the Huetopian Dream palette in the Divine Rose 2 palette, VR Sextra Terrestrial, that shade can get it. But if it did have a shade like that in here, this palette would be a clear winner for me. So yes, I see what you all are saying and that this palette looks similar. I agree. But I feel like this palette has a little bit more depth and the colors are a little bit more vivid. So therefore, I prefer it more. And I know you all want me to go more in depth and explore the exact shades and the differences and similarities of some of the other shades in Pat McGrath's eyeshadow wardrobe. So you all already know I got you. I will be doing that. Comparisons coming extremely soon. And I want to know what you all think about this palette down below. You all had so many interesting thoughts to share on my Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Kelsee Briana J to keep up with me when I'm not on here. But now I want to know what my YouTube Kel Bell family has to say about it. So let me know down in the comment section and look out for more content with me using this palette because I definitely want to do more looks. And of course, like I said, I'm going to do the comparisons. So I look forward to reading what you guys have to say. And I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.